Today's lesson we are going to talk about the landforms and life. Now this is very critical lesson. I would also request you that from you can actually have an atlas with you. Atlas is collection of maps, I'm sure, so that while we do these lessons, you also check out turn pages of atlas. Last time we learned about mapping, because slowly, these lessons are also trying to let you explore the atlas and various regions of the world, the physical landforms. You can buy atlas, any atlas which you have, any is okay. There is no as such Oxford atlas is also good. Any school atlas, school level atlas is very fine. So you must have used it in your 10th class. So similar kind of an atlas. Uh, our time Oxford Atlas was quite common, so you can use that. Now, in this chapter, what are the we are going to talk about what are the major landforms, what are the significance of life and culture, what are the challenges and opportunities of the life associated with various landforms. See, these are all at sixth class level at a very broad level, but because you are appearing for civil services examination, imagine you have to know your country district wise, which district, which place, what kind of geographical feature it has, whether it is a coastal district, whether it is a district having plateaus, whether it has a mountainous region. So you have to be aware. So your study level should be around that to understand. But going for our foundation, we will just run through what is there in this chapter. The chapter speaks about the various landforms of the country, especially highlighting on the Chota Nagpur in Jharkhand. Then when you see the plains of Uttar Pradesh, Gangetic Plains, it speaks about that on three categories landforms can be divided. That is mountains, plateaus, and plains. And then these landforms have different climates, and these are home to various flora and fauna. Humans have adapted to landforms, and accordingly it has affected their culture and activities. Now when we talk of mountains, they are the highest or higher landforms, where they have a height from the sea level, and as per their altitudes, they have their climatic regions. So at high altitude, there might be snow which never melts, and at the low, that might be permanent snowing capped in the mountains. So we see many times photos of Everest or Mount Annapurna or Mount Kailash, where uh, these are the landforms which we are talking about. You can see an image; it's a very graphical image. So we also, because I mentioned that there are certain names which have been spoken about various regions of the country, that an activity for all of you is to go and check it out in your atlas map. So say for example, Mount Everest, Mount Aconcagua, where is it is, Mount Kilimanjaro, which country it is, Mount Black, which country, Mount Kanchenjunga, Mount Anamudi. So you have to see which hill range it is there. You have to find out. Mount Everest is the Himalayan range. Mount Aconcagua is in South America, Andes. Mount Kilimanjaro is in South Africa. Mount Black is the French Alps. Mount Kanchenjunga is also in the Himalayan range. Mount Anamudi is in the Nilgiri belt in southern of India. Now, so we have to see the various, also there's a GK type of information that which is where highest mountain, which is what the heights and altitude. We have to also understand that because many times the location based questions which are asked is uh, uh, from these kind of information. So you need to understand that you make a note around it. Then they speak about the mountainous environment or the mountain forest. They have deodar trees, pine trees, spruce trees, or conifer trees, which are conical in shape. And then there are while we go towards plains, there will be no grasses but what mosses and lichens. Now, what is mosses and lichens? They are basically algae plant or plant-like organisms, which happens in the cushiony kind of in the roots of the mountainous plants. So Himalayan mountains are also considered as the young mountains. When we understand the Earth history, we realize that all the mountains have age and different kind of formation history that we will realize or learn it later. But for this, you just need to remember that Himalayan mountains are the young mountains. What kind of flora and fauna? We spoke about various type of mountain. Now with the kind of various animals found in various mountain, so you can learn about them. So next is we're talking about life in mountain. Mountain is a terrain and usually rugged or rough life. They have this valleys, mountain and valleys. Cultivation is practiced of the slope. So the slope is cut. Terrace farming it is called. They build terraces on which various agricultural crops according to the location where they are. This thing is there. Mountain is also known for various sports like skiing, hiking, mountaineering, paragliding, and one of the adventurous life of when you see mountains. Many of the adventure are all dedicated to the mountainous region, and we have certain various big names of the country who have made us proud, like Bachendri Pal, who was the first Indian woman to climb Mount Everest in 1984 and was awarded Padma Shri in the same year and Padma Bhushan in 2019. Arunima Sinha lost her leg in the accident when she was 31, and with Bachendri Pal's encouragement, she climbed the Mount Everest in 2013. Now, she also has climbed to the highest peak of every continent, including the Mount Vinson in the Antarctica. She was awarded Padma Shri in 2015. So these are all adventurous and motivating stories. Then we speak about the various, climatic effects which happens in the mountain. The flash flood happens. You would have heard about Uttarakhand landslides, avalanche of snow avalanches, and cloudburst, Ladakh cloudburst, or Kedarnath cloudburst. So these are certain disasters which happen over there. Next form of again, you know that this Mount Everest is also called as Chomolungma in Tibetan, and it is called as Mother Goddess of the World. Nepalis call it as Sagarmatha and Goddess of the Sky. Again, similar is uh, Mount Kailash is again in Tibet, and every religion call it in a different religious connotation. Another landform is plateaus. Plateaus are basically they are like not exactly mountain, but they are also have a height and also have a steep. They are young and old as per the history of the when we learn about the Earth history. World's largest plateau is the Tibetan Plateau, and they are the highest plateau of the world. Another plateau in our Indian subcontinent is Deccan Plateau. This is the region of Hyderabad, Gulbarga, and that region that is called Deccan Plateau. These have their own history. These are plateaus are very very mineral rich belt. So plateaus actually they are also called a storehouse of minerals. So we will realize that they are the in African plateau it is famous for gold and diamond mining, and similarly in India the plateau wherever the Deccan Plateau or Chotanagpur Plateau is also there, we'll see reserves of iron, coal, manganese formed around that region. What is found over there, we will learn it as we go ahead. But you should remember plateaus are very mineral resources rich places. So when they talk of mines, where can be the mines of iron, coal, or manganese? You must common sense wise you should remember that these are the plateau areas where these mines can come. Again, because these plateaus have rocky soil and they are also very now the soil structure, when we learn that wherever the soil structure wherever there's a volcanic activity they also will have a rich black soil. We'll talk about the soil and other aspect of it as well, but as of now the chapter mentions about certain general knowledge. You should remember it. Then we talk of many spectral waterfalls which come from plateau, like Victoria Falls in Zambezi River in southern Africa, Hundru Falls on the Subarnekha River in Chotanagpur Plateau, Jog Falls in Shravati River in Western Ghat in Karnataka, and Nohakhalkaj Falls in Cherrapunji Plateau in Meghalaya. Now we have spoken about mountains, we have spoken about plateaus. Now the third landform, that is plains. Now these are the landforms which is very extensively flat and undulating surfaces, and they do not have very height or this thing. They're usually flat and almost around 300 meters above sea level. So these are the flood plains, and by rivers they are formed, which are these rivers originate from mountain, and they are the because of the high carrying of sediment by these rivers, sediments get deposited and making these floodplains very, very fertile. So these plains, one of the most fertile floodplains of the world is Gangetic floodplain, which we will speak about. In the world map, which is shown in this PDF, you can see various landforms, which is mountain in brown, uh, plains in green, and plateaus also in brown, river, so which you can remember across the globe. The names are also mentioned. So life in plains is definitely, as I mentioned, very agriculture, and as it is very fertile. So agriculture driven life, and Gangetic plains are the best example. They are the food crops grow over there: rice, wheat, maize, barley, millet. Any fiber crop like cotton, jute, hemp are also grown in Gangetic plains. Traditional agriculture has been mostly rain fed, so water is coming through rain and also through the water which is coming through the river. The irrigation system have been developed around them. And Ganga plains, that's why wherever there is water, there is fertile land, there will be high population density. And wherever there is high population, high productions, pollution also happens over there. So there are various ways of which plains are formed due to confluence of river when two rivers meet. And like this place called Allahabad, where Ganga and Yamuna meet. So similarly, we will learn about. You can go through the atlas once and explore the various way in which India, the river beds of India, rivers of India. So flora and fauna are also very very uh, uh, you know uh, dynamic when it comes to the plain region. In the plain, sub is also called deserts. So in this desert landform, it will have, like Rajasthan, where we see Rajasthan, high amount of sand dunes, and it's a very dry. So some of the deserts are like Sahara Desert in Africa, Thar Desert in Northwest India and subcontinent. There are also cold deserts and hot deserts. Gobi Desert in Asia, in Kazakhstan, is called cold desert, and Antarctica is sometimes also called as desert. So there is a harsh climate, but still humans have adapted to living over there also. And there are communities living in Thar, and we see that humans, this nature of adaptability is shown in that thing. So there are certain Tamil or Sangam poetry which has mentioned about various landscapes. So you must just read through them the terminologies, and it will help you to realize that if any question comes, from where it has come. So summarizing the chapter as what we have seen in the PDF. So we have landforms are types of landforms. Landforms are natural feature on the Earth's surface. The three main types are mountains, plateaus, and plains. These landforms vary in their physical features, environment, and the way humans adapt to them. Mountains, by definition, are elevated landforms, usually with steep slopes which rise above the surrounding land. They often have a pointed peaks and are found in ranges. Types: mountains can be young or old. So young mountains have sharp peaks like Himalaya. Old mountains, Aravalis, have rounded tops due to a lot of erosion. Height can vary significantly. Mount Everest height is considered as the highest at 8848 from the sea level. Importance now, these are the storehouse of water. Rivers originate from mountains, fed by melting snow and glaciers. They are also mineral wealth. Mountains contain large deposit of minerals. Biodiversity host unique flora and fauna due to varied climate across different altitudes. Cultural significance: mountains often hold religious or cultural importance, like the Himalayas in India. Now, the next landform is plateaus. So it's a flat-topped elevated landform that rises sharply from the surrounding area, often with one or more steep sides. So it can be formed through various geological processes such as volcanic activity or erosion. Tibetan Plateau is known as the roof of the world. It is the highest and the largest plateau. Another plateau which you mentioned was Deccan Plateau, located in the central and southern India, formed through volcanic activity millions of years ago. Now the height varies from a very few hundred to several thousand meters. Again, as I mentioned, it is the storehouse of minerals, it is rich in minerals, and it is a very less fertile for agriculture because of the blacky soil. Uh, so wherever there is lava plateau, there is a fertile black soil available. But otherwise, they have plateaus have a rocky soil, and most of the waterfalls are around these plateaus, and they are the tourist attraction. Now the next landform is plains, extensively flat or gently undulating landforms that are usually not more than 300 meters above sea level, formed by river that deposit sediments over time, making the soil fertile. Now, why they are important? Agriculture, by their fertile landforms, hence they help in all the agriculture activities. Ganga Plains is the best example. They will have a lot of network of irrigation. Population, because there is water available, there is a fertile land. That means most of the population lives over there. So they are very dense. Economic activities apart from agriculture, river fishing, transportation, everything happens mostly in the plain. Another is the subset is called desert landform. Now deserts can be either hot or cold. Now it has flora and fauna, unique adaptation to survive in extreme conditions, and humans have adapted even to living in deserts. So life and human adaptation in different landforms. Mountains, people rely on river from mountains or water for water and irrigation. Activities like mountain climbing and trekking are also common in some regions. Plateaus, mining is a major activity due to rich mineral deposits, while agriculture is limited to areas with fertile soil. The fertile plains have been home to ancient civilizations and continue to support dense population today. Agriculture and river-based activities dominate deserts. Despite harsh living conditions, humans have adapted to deserts with cultural practices and economic activities like trading and nomadic herding. Some of the key terms which we learned was sea level, the average level of the ocean surface, confluence, the meeting point of two or more rivers, resilience, the ability to adapt or overcome challenges. Cultural and economic impact of rivers. Rivers have played a significant role in cultural, spiritual, and economic life. Many religious festivals and rituals take place along rivers in India, and rivers have historically been used for transportation. In Tamil Sangam poetry, five Tinais are mentioned. One is Kurinji, mountainous regions for hunting and gathering; Mullai, grasslands and forests, cattle rearing; Marudam, fertile agricultural plains for farming; Neidal, coastal regions, fishing and seafaring; Palai, arid regions, journeying and hunting. Now, landform not only shape the physical environment but also influence human culture, livelihoods, and resilience. Understanding these relationships is key to appreciating the diversity of life on Earth. As I mentioned, I would request you to go through the atlas once, observe the various parts of the country, various landforms, and whatever I've shared as your um, MCQ. First, go through them and then read your PDF. You'll be able to revise and you will be able to attentively grasp every knowledge for the session today. Thank you.